Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning in to see what is the latest teardown for today. So today what we're going to tear down is this Samsung VHS video player. Don't see many VHS video players nowadays. Obviously we're well surpassed by DVDs, but you do still come across them now and again. Not a lot in them in terms of PCBs, boards with lots of components, but there is things to be had inside them. The head cleaners and things like that are usually made of machined aluminium, so there's little bits and bobs in there that we can take, and the only real way to see exactly what there is to get open and have a look. You can see from first look that the little audio video jacks, they are actually gold plated, so that's a good first sign. I have some jacks on the back as well, but they aren't gold plated. So let's just try and get it apart and see what we've got. Okay, so first initial look, doesn't seem to be a lot of screws keeping this one in. As you can see from the back there, not a lot of screws. So I'm hoping it's just a case of wedging off the front, a couple of screws on the back, and should be fairly easy to get into. Okay, stretch that out a little bit. Okay. There's front panel off nice and easy. Nothing metal wise attached to it, so obviously nothing worth keeping there. It's all just plastic. Okay, stick that to one side. Do have a couple of screws in the back, keeping on the metal outer casing. So let's get them off. Okay. Now hopefully we should be able to just slip off the outer casing. There's a little piece here that's holding it on, so let's get the screwdriver into that bit. There we go. And that should now just slip off. As so. Okay. Steel outer casing, put that in the steel pile, stick that to one side at the moment, and there's our inside. Okay, so actually we'll have quite a big board sitting at the base, as you can see, and we've got our head cleaner here as well. Okay, nice motor inside there as well. See a bit of copper in there, DC copper motor here, a little this side on the board we can see a little transformer, another kind of copper component in there. So there's definitely stuff in there that's worth taking out. So let's try and get this main body out first. We'll take this brace unit off here and try and get this main piece out so we can have a bit of a closer look. Okay. So I'll start off with the brace. Okay, we're just checking the screws there. They're not brass screws, just brass coloured. There's the main brace. Get that off. I'm hoping there's only 3 or 4 screws on this main unit. Actually looks a fairly simple setup, so hopefully that means it's simple to get out. But you never know until you undo the screws and then you see if it comes out. Okay, so main screws are out. and the whole unit lifts out nice and easy. Screw that. So there's the unit. See, this is aluminium. Nice bit of copper motor at the top. The rest of it is just steel, but we'll take the DC motor as well. Always like the little DC motors. And just actually take the DC motors as they are to the scrapyard. On the back, again a little motor there driven by a pulley. Take that off, and this main piece is connected to this motor here. So that will drive it. We'll take off the little wire connectors. These are wire inside, these are copper wire inside them. Obviously some of them have got gold flashing on the end, some of them have this silver flashing, but as said in previous videos, it's not silver. The gold ones are gold plate, but the silver ones are just tin. I don't actually stick them in my wire pile, I just bin them, to be honest with you. Okay, so now we can start taking apart the rest of the unit. I have to change my drill bit here, it's a bit big for this one. Okay, so let's start dissecting this main piece. Okay, lots of little screws. Okay, that's released the motor on the back. You can see, still copper. Big blue copper motor there. I've done one of these previously, so that's kind of what it looks like once you get it out. Okay. Again, that is copper wire, but yeah, you do get all kind of colour, all different colours of copper wire depending on what it comes from. Usually little motors like that are the ones you see, different ones, red, blue, green. So yeah, that's what that will look like, what this will look like once it's pulled out of there. Okay, so I'll stick that to one side at the moment. We'll get off the other components. So at the moment we're trying to release the little board that's attached to the head cleaner, the motor. Okay, that takes that off. There you go. Another copper motor. Stick that with the other one. And then we can get into releasing the magnetic piece on the motor. Which, as always, one screw will come out and the other one will be a real pain. Hopefully we can get it out. It wants to come out, but not with that drill bit it won't. So we'll change that one. We've got one we can get it out with. And there we go. Okay, so that's a little piece holding the magnet. As you can see, the magnet inside there. Usually it's a ferrite metal magnet, but one way to tell that is to try and stick the screwdriver down the edge of it. And this one is actually rubberized, so we can just hopefully pull that out. Means the metal we're taking to the scrapyard is nice clean metal, they can't recycle that. There we go. It's a nice wee metal disc. Stick in a metal pile. Ting. Okay. So here's where we are so far. Again, just keep unscrewing the rest of it till we get these components out. Some really small screws here, but that's alright. Got a great little screwdriver set. That allows me to unscrew all different kinds of screws, and something you really need if you're scrapping, because screws do come in all different shapes and sizes and you need to be able to unscrew them. Okay, so that's kind of undone everything on the top side. So now we've got some screws there on the bottom side. We can pull off some of these cogs. So we'll get the screws out first. Drill bit for that one as well. As you can see, constantly changing the drill bit to fit the screws. Unfortunate thing is sometimes you start off with the wrong one, then it rounds the screw, and that never helps. So let's try and find the right one. Nope, still no success. Hopefully not round the screw too much. That'll be a hatchet job trying to get them off. Nope. So 2 out of 3 with a correct drill bit. Let's try the third one again. Put a bit of pressure on it. No chance. Okay. Try a different method. Try and twist it with the pliers so we can loosen it, and hopefully we can then take it out. Voila. Okay, so that's that piece. Another screw there, so let's get that out. Have a look and see if there's any more screws. Pull off some of these cogs. Okay, we'll get a screwdriver and get all the plastic off of this. We'll just unwedge it, or wedge it off even. Okay, metal spring, stick on a metal pile. Get the rest of these pieces off. Piece there, is that aluminium? Not steel as well. Okay, plastic and steel, plastic and steel. Okay, that's the piece that drives back and forth the drawer for putting the tape in and out. As you can see a little teeth mark on that. That engages with the cogs and it moves the tape in and out of the machine. There's that one. The other plastic component. Okay, so pretty much remove the plastic from the base. Now we can get this piece out, which is again the top piece of the unit that the tape goes in and out. So the tape will go in here, and this is the top piece, so we'll move that. We'll take this off. Hopefully again we should just be able to unwedge it. It's plastic, I'm not keeping anything in, so it doesn't matter if the plastic breaks as I'm taking it out. Okay, that's now off the width, off the edge. and there's it's pulled off the side. There we go. Take off the metal pieces on the end. Okay. Plastic in the plastic bin. Little metal piece there. And then pull this last piece off. And there you go, there's our metal piece. Quick check with my super magnet. Yep, okay. Definitely steel, not aluminium, so we'll stick that in the steel pile. Gives us access now to the rest of these plastic pieces. Take this other piece off as well. Okay, so that's that bit unwedged. Hopefully we can just pull this off. It'll be that simple, so we can cut into it as well. A lot of people would just stick that in their metal pile like that. I'm very pernickety in terms of making sure that the metal is as clean as possible. There's no contamination, there's no plastic. So I make sure I remove it all. Hopefully without hurting my fingers. And unwedge that piece, stick it in the vise. And there we go, pulled off. And it just leaves our own little piece there, which again we'll stick in. And you know, if you are obviously harvesting the metals and you're taking the metals to the scrapyard, all these little bits do add up. You know, they might look like little tiny bits of steel, and they are tiny little bits of steel, but you know, lots of steel turns into a heavy load. So take it all and make sure it's nice and clean, a good reputation in the scrapyard, and we're only taking the metal, we're not taking them plastic, because they cannot recycle the plastic, and they won't give you any money for the plastic. So what is the point in taking plastic? Absolutely none, we say. Okay, a couple of other components still left here. And just force them off on this side. A little piece, actually, a little tiny piece of stainless. Which is obviously worth more than normal steel. So we will put that in our stainless pile. And what these pieces are, these are little rollers that the tape wraps around when it's going in through the machine. So you have one on each side, little rollers, and that's what they do. Okay, last piece there. All the other plastic components out, or plastic pieces rather than components. Okay, we're getting there, nearly there. Yeah, looking nice and clean. Pop that piece off. Okay, pop that piece off. Little spring there. Okay, and that is all the plastic removed from that piece. from that side anyway. But try to poke through there. There we go. So on the sides now, we've just got the DC motor. As you can see, DC motor that will drive this, and that really drives what used to be the piece that the tape went in and out of the machine. Yeah, so we'll remove this. Okay, there's one piece gone. Move the cog, move the second cog, and now we can get to the DC motor. There we go, there's our little DC motor. Okay, remove the little board attached to it. There you are, that'll go with our other DC motors. Take the plastic off, just leaves the motor. DC motors come in all shapes and sizes as well. That's pretty standard, this one. You do get them kind of half the size of this, you do get them much bigger. Really depends on what they're driving. And there we go, there's our clean metal piece. Okay, these aren't brass either, so there's no point pulling them off separate. But that will just go in our metal pile. Oh, a little bit of plastic stuck to it. Okay, so that's that one done. Leaves us with a board. Okay, so as you can see, quite a big board. I didn't expect it to be so big, but the components are pretty much spaced out, so there isn't still that much on the board. But I'll get it out and I'll take you through what's on it. So it looks like there's probably only one screw holding it in, which would be great if that's the case. Clip from this side. We'll undo the power cord from the board. There we go. Make it a little easier to get out. Okay. So a little bit over this side, keeping it in. Just a plastic piece. Okay. Oh, straight back in again. Okay, so this piece is keeping it in. Take that off, it's attached here by pins. There we go, there's that piece out. Just check it for metal, there we go, still got the metal piece on the bottom. Let's deal with the metal before we deal with the board. Just be a case of going around the edges, edging it off. Get the top off, hopefully we can just pull it off. There's the top side unwedged. And there we go. Just put it straight off. Plastic carcass remaining, and that will go. Let's have a look. Just try to check that it's ABS plastic. Can't see an indicator on it, it says it's ABS. Should be ABS plastic, which means you can just stick it in the recycling bin. Okay, we'll go over that a little bit later. Try and find that. Got metal pieces are metal recovery bins. Some little pieces to clean up. Okay, it's all metal. As you can see, the audio, video are nice and gold plated. So they'll go into our gold plated recovery. Little tactile switches, tactical switches, well, I'm not sure if it's tactile or tactical, but little switches which you'll see in my other videos contain a little bit of silver. A couple of very, very small pieces of stainless steel. But again, little bits add up to lots. So I'm still going to recover it. I'm still going to stick it in my stainless easy for me to say, stainless steel bottle. So 2 little bits there. Okay, as you can see, if I grab a magnet, they don't stick. Okay, so that's stainless steel, definitely not aluminium, not brass, so stainless steel. Okay, I'll stick them there, put that aside to be recovered later. And then we'll just have a quick look at the board and go over what's on there. So we have our capacitors, which are these things. These are good capacitors. Okay, alright for some silver recovery capacitors. These ones I think are tantalum. Tantalum's quite a rare metal. You do get it in capacitors within old boards mostly, so great to take them off, keep them aside altogether. Couple of little switches, again a little nub, tiny nub of silver right in the middle of them. Little IC chip here, and you've got a crystal oscillator here, crystal oscillator here. There's probably another crystal oscillator within this component, and again we'll take the metal sides off of these and stick them in our steel pile, or just steel. And then we have a nice little copper component here. It's a little reel of copper actually, that one. It's really nice clean copper as well, so the more of them the better you can get. You've got a little transistor here and here, stuck to the back of a aluminium cooler. It cools down the chip. And then we have a transformer here. Okay, these little things here are called diodes. I'm not too sure about what's contained within them, if you can actually recover gold or silver within diodes. So if anyone knows, please stick a note in the comments, as I do actually recover them. I do have a box of them, but yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything I can actually do with them. On the back of the board, 3 IC chips, 4 IC chips, 5 IC chips, one here as well, so there's a few chips there. Nothing much more. No, there doesn't seem to be any kind of monolithic capacitors or transistors on the back, or resistors, sorry, on the back of that. So nothing to recover there. And that's about it. So that's what we've got from that. We'll take the sides off of this. See what we've got inside here. Okay, so a couple of small IC chips on that side. On the other side, I do think there will be a crystal oscillator on the other side. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, there is a crystal oscillator in here. I'll bring it a bit closer. A little crystal oscillator in there. There's a few little pieces of copper in there as well. Quite difficult to recover, and it's no copper weight whatsoever, so It's up to yourself if you want to recover that kind of thing. We'll take that whole piece off the board, and I don't really keep the boards, not unless there's a lot of gold plating on the boards. A lot of people ship the boards, and you can get copper recovery from these boards, silver as well, but it would cost so much to ship these to somewhere that can actually recover the metals from them for me that it's just not worth my while. So after I get that out, you can probably see a little bit better the crystal oscillator there, the little silver component. Okie doke. That's about it, guys. So that's what it looks like, the inside of an old VHS video player. The only one thing component left to go through in a little bit more detail is this piece, as I says. Actually quite a heavy piece, and it's kept together by this central pin. So I will try and remove that pin, and then we'll see if we can take the inside of this apart. Normally on the inside what you have here is you have 4 little copper components that hold the motor in place or attached to the motor, and they look like this. So it's a little piece of copper, a little square piece of copper. Yep. And there's wires that come off of that and connect to the internal piece. So let's try and see if I can get this off. Sure, we've got the best thing for it to get it off. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, so let's use a little screwdriver, knock off the top of it. So this is out of camera shot. Okay, so it really needs a couple of taps, so you loosen it, and you can pull that piece out. Check and see if that is stainless steel or not. No, it's definitely not stainless. So we can stick that in our steel pile, and we can put up the inside. So as you can see on this side, there's a little coil of copper inside a piece of ferrite, and on this side, as I said, so you've got the ferrite, you've got the copper, and then you've got the copper plates, little 4 copper plates. And what I do basically is I'll bash that ferrite out with a hammer, extract you can actually just pull out the copper here once you take these plates off, and we'll extract these plates. Okay, so I'll try and find a bit that will go into these. Again, as I said, with different shaped screws and all the rest of it, you can see these are starry ones, and not your standard Phillips screws or flathead screws. Little starry screws. So we need something that will fit, and this is my boy. Okay, a little component there. I don't know why I keep calling everything component. It's not a component. It's a screw head, and we will take that off. Might actually be a little brass plate, not a copper plate. Probably copper would be too soft. And the screws, I think, are made of the same stuff, and they're more likely to be brass screws than they are copper. So as you can see, there's the screws. There's my magnet. They're not sticking. So they're either brass or copper. Actually colour of copper, but I think they're brass. We'll keep them aside. And we can take our plates off, as you see. So a plate attached to the ferrite, which is got the copper in it. Pull that. You can actually just start pulling the copper from the ferrite. Yeah. there we go. All of them out. These are as well a nice piece of machined aluminium. There is a bearing inside here, so that does need to be knocked out. On this side no bearing, but we can just bash that piece out with the screwdriver and a hammer to leave us a nice piece of machined aluminium that we can add to our aluminium pile. And that's it. So that's taking apart a VHS video player. Thanks for watching as always. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel for the next one. Thanks very much. Bye now.